Hey, good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you would call the roll, please.
Mr. Christensen,
Here,
Mr. Cole, Ms. Bennett, Mr. Watkins,
here,
Ms. Baca. Here. Mr. James.
Here.
Mr. Davis.
here.
For one more.
Mr. Cole is here.
Just in time.
Just in time.
Mr. Cole's present.
Yes, President. Before we do the pledge of communication, I would just like to make a note that action item C, the resolution for a special use permit for the daycare at 101 Texas has been withdrawn. And we won't be having that. So if you were here for that reason, we're not going to discuss it because that has been withdrawn and you're welcome to. Thank you for coming. Showing your support. You would join me for the invocation of the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures.
First item is approval of the minutes from the March 3rd meeting.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second. I have a motion. Mr. Haynes and a second from Mr. Cole. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, new business. Public hearing for resolution PC number, excuse me, 2024-2025-39. A resolution providing for a variance at the address at 1433 South Avenue D for the purpose of placing a mobile home for residential purposes. I will entertain a motion to go in public hearing.
So moves. Second.
I have a motion for Mr. Cole and a second from Mr. Davis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Okay, we're in public hearing. This is lovely lady. Good morning.
Hello, so this is an application for variance to place a mobile home. And it would be on the same lot as a current business, so that is why it would need the variance. And can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So we did publish this one and we had postponed it from the last meeting due to weather. So we published it both on February 12th and on March 19th in the Eastern New Mexico News. Sent 10 certified letters to property owners. There was 0 for the proposal and 3 against the proposal. And then out of the 6 certified letters to public utilities, there was 0 for and 0 against. Of the protesters, only 1 submitted a statement. Saying, I believe an addition of a mobile home for residential use will bring my property value down tremendously. Mobile homes have a lower market value than site-built houses and could negatively impact the overall aesthetic and perceived value of my home. And that's all the information I really have for you guys. Ms. Marufo is here to present on her application as well.
Ms. Barufo, would you like to get up and speak or someone?
I'll be speaking first.
Okay, you guys step over there and get sworn in. So,
Please state your name.
Eric Ariola.
María Marrufo.
So you're from to testify to the review and the law.
I do.
okay. So. Why do we need this variance?
Permíteme eso.
Ahí en un lado está mi negocio y me gustaría moverme ahí porque está más cerquita.
Right next to that property is our business, and we would like to move there.
Okay.
And since it's closer to our business, we could get there if in case if anything were to happen.
Aparte que mis hijos están estudiando en la universidad.
And apart from that, my sister and I are going to be studying at ENMU, which would be closer than our current residence.
How big of a mobile home are you putting there? Do you know?
They can find me on this home.
3 cuartos, 2 baños y es 16 por 72. 3 cuartos, 2 baños
It's 3 rooms, 2 bathrooms.
y es 16 por 72.
It's 16 by 72.
Okay.
What's the age of the home?
¿Qué tanto tiene la casa? ¿Cómo cuántos años? El mobile home.
Va a ser nueva.
It's brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Anything else? Next month.
No, the house right to the east of there across the alley used to have a mobile home there. I guess it was a rental. And there was issues then with the neighbors. Didn't want that there.
No.
No reason I know that because I lived in that house for a few years.
There's no other questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Did anyone want to speak for or against?
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? I will entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Cole and a second by Ms. Baca to go out of public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we're back in regular session. I will entertain a motion to approve or deny the variance for 1433 South Avenue D.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion to deny in a second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
No.
Baca?
Or,
We're doing it for to deny.
Yes.
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 Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so that was denied. And there is an appeal process for that.
Correct. If they file an appeal with the city clerk within 15 days, it may go to city council, and city council can make the final decision.
And you can contact Ms. Lovelady. Okay, next item is public hearing for resolution PC number 2024-2025-40. A resolution providing for a special use permit at the address of 2013 West 18th Street for the purpose of building independent senior living homes submitted by Monposa Builder Construction Company. I will entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Mr. Cole and a second from Mr. James. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're in public hearing.
Okay, so this application is for a special use permit at 2013 West 18th Street, which is currently the Good Life living care facility. So they are wanting to install 7 individual living homes for seniors. Will you go to the next one, please? So this is the site plan that was submitted. So you can see the 7 individual units, and they would also have garages for cars. And I think in between some of the houses are going to be shared garages. And that site plan is also in your packet. Will you go to the next one? For the findings of facts, we published the application in the Eastern New Mexico News on March 19th. We sent 6 certified letters to property owners. 2 were for the proposal and 0 were against. And then 6 certified letters to public utilities. We had 1 for and 0 against. So the reason for the special use permit, along with they wouldn't really meet like setback requirements per se, since they're gonna be individual housing. And then also under section 170 for land uses, any institutions for the care of the aged, senile, mentally or physically infirmed, and or I cannot say that word, eleemosynary nature, provided these uses are specifically excluded from the R1 zones. So any of those uses must have the special use permit to be active. And then I don't believe Mr. Skelly is here. I did let him know, but I don't think he's here this evening. But if you have any other questions for me, I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Is this the same bunch that came before us? It may have been a year or so ago. That was wanting a variance to stucco instead of brick or something?
No, so, I've only been here since 2022 and we've never had this application before. The one you're thinking of is Ravenwood.
Yeah, this would just be for the building and the operation of the individual units.
That, I don't seem to have that picture of the slide with all the yellow box. Yes. Oh, okay.
So it's kind of zoomed in on here
Yeah.
and it's bigger, yeah, on yours. And the second large building, I think had already been approved. They just haven't built it yet. But this would be just for the individual units there.
Anyone here to speak for or against this? Okay. Yes, you do.
Brad Roberts.
Budget, you and one, you
Yes. So I represent Roosevelt General Hospital. We're their property just adjacent, just south of these guys. And through our discussions at the hospital, we are in favor of this plan. We think it'll be a great addition and the location is perfect. Is perfect for what it's used for. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I will entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Cole and a second from Ms. Baca. To go out of public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're back in regular session. I will entertain a motion to either approve or deny the special use permit at 2013 West 18th Street. I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Davis and a second from Mr. James to approve. Variance, call or special use permit, call the roll, please.
Mr. James,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins,
Yes.
Ms. Baca,
Yes.
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Okay. That's approved. When is the city council meeting?
Should be May 15th.
May 15th? Okay.
This is one of those months where it fell where I should be able to get everything in tomorrow. It's
April.
Oh, April 15th.
Okay. I was thinking. Hey, that's not what May was like. Quite a while.
Taking a spring break.
Sorry, April 15th.
I've had that same problem today, trying to change months.
Okay, and then our final item tonight will be recommendations for amendments to ordinance number 655 and then number 540, chapter 16, nuisances, everybody's favorite.
Yes, so Kelly and I have been working on this as well as with a focus group. Ms. Baca has been a part of that since last year when we had kind of started looking at how we can better enforce our nuisance ordinance and, make a little bit more of a difference. So we have done quite a bit of changes, and I did include just kind of an overview of all the changes we've made. And then if you guys see anything that you would like to add or clarify, or if you are good with everything, we'll move forward with it. So the first thing we did was add a definition of a notice. This is just something I felt was needed since it's not mentioned. So anyone could say, well, you didn't notify me properly. We can say this is what constitutes as a notice. We added a step before the city abates any property. So we're hoping this will help to save the city some money for larger cleanups we have to do. So instead of going and abating it as our second step, we'd cite them to court. They would be under the judge, subject to fines, which we put as $150 to $1,000. The judge can decide what they want to do, or just say, you have this long to mow your lawn or this long to mow or to remove the junked vehicles from your property. And then under emergency conditions, we wanted to specify who was in charge of declaring that. At first, we had it as just a code enforcement officer, and we felt that it would be hard for just one person to go and say, this is an emergency, and we're able to skip all of the notification process. So it was suggested that we add, so it'll be the code enforcement officer, city manager, law enforcement, and fire department official all have to agree to declare a situation an emergency condition. And under section, I'm lost. Section 16-8. So number 4 on the list. We just clarified the removal of cuttings. It used to say like to remove all cuttings. The focus group wanted to include if they just shred the cuttings. So instead of just leaving one big tall weed, they shred it, and they were okay with people leaving it that way. And then they wanted to increase the fines from $150 to $1,000. Under section 16-13, we're moving into Article 2 for the outdoor automotive storage. And we added that any parked vehicle on a public street or alley has to be legally operational, so they must have their valid tags and registration. Under 16-12, we changed it. It used to have 2 different time periods. One said 72 hours, one said 3 days. So we made it the same, that both would be 72 hours. So whether it's parked in a highway or an alley or a street, they have 72 hours if it's presumed abandoned. And then on section 16-14, we did a revision of the prohibitions on property of partially dismantled, inoperable, wrecked, junked, or discarded vehicles, and that they cannot be present for more than 72 hours. Initially, it was 15 days. And so if that's something you guys want to look at, we can. But I think our focus group kind of settled on the 3 days for that as well. And then we also added abatement procedures for the inoperable vehicles on private properties. So our old ordinance said it can't be there, but it gave us no way to actually get those things removed without getting a court order. So now it's similar to the process of the weed abatement or weed or other nuisance abatement. We would notify them that they're in violation, give them 14 days, send them a certified letter. And if they don't abate it within those 14 days, then we'd cite them to court, and so on and so forth. And then we also added in section 16-17, code enforcement or other authorized designee can call for vehicles to be towed. Before it was, we had to notify the police had to notify dispatcher had to notify the tow company. So now we can just notify the dispatcher to call the tow company and have it removed when their time is up. 16-17, we removed, there used to be a section about towing to a garage or other places of safety. So the city, we don't have any area of storage for that, and we would just have all vehicles towed to wherever the tow company takes them to. And then 16-18, we added a section for total removals of large numbers of vehicles if necessary. That's something we're gonna have our lawyer definitely check and make sure we can do. So that would be if for some reason we have a property with more vehicles than a tow company can take to their lot, we would have a court order to put all of the cars under the city of Portalis's property so that we could dispose of them as we needed to. And then we also added a new review and appeal section that will cover the entire chapter with established procedures. So they would first go through the city manager if they didn't agree with code enforcement decision to claim them as a nuisance. And then depending on that, it would go to you as a planning and zoning commission. And then depending on your decision, it'd go to city council if they wanted to take the appeal process all the way. And then it was also suggested that we add a hobby car permit. So we added that to that's a new section, or sorry, Article 3. So basically that would be for people who have, classic cars they're working on that aren't necessarily street operable, or they're using a car for parts to fix something up. We would allow under this provision, they'd have to have a permit once a year. It'd be free. And as long as they follow these provisions, they would be allowed to keep it there. The one suggestion I did want to get is how many we wanted to allow. So I wrote in there up to 2, but if you guys wanted to make a suggestion specifically for that number or any other provisions that you would see necessary. And then of course, if they're subject to inspection by a code enforcement officer when they have that permit. And if they're not following the provisions, then their permit would be revoked and they'd be subject to the removal process. And then we also did a total revision of the noise ordinance because we had an issue with this. Basically, it was kind of unenforceable because we didn't have a way to say you're being too loud or have a decibel meter, or we didn't have a period of time, or you can't make noise within a certain area. So we took Clovis's noise ordinance as was suggested by our chief of police. And that was all the changes. So if you guys have any recommendations or things that you'd like to see, we are open to that.
I'm in the agreement of 2 vehicles provided.
Okay.
I did also see on page 9, the reconstruction vehicle needs. I think shouldn't be there. Vehicles which shall have been assembled. I think it's vehicles which have been assembled.
Okay. And this does follow the state guidelines for the hobby cars. And those are the definitions provided by them. So I just kind of use those.
I would like to thank you and your focus group for putting that together. I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you and Kelly taking the effort to change the ordinances. They're old and they don't fit our community.
I believe this one was last updated in 1984.
The weeds was updated in 2001, I think. And then the junked vehicles and the noise was last done in 1984. So definitely due for an update. And this will make it hopefully easier for us to enforce and also be a little bit easier on our department's budget. So.
What about all the abandoned houses and
So that
that's
one
good.
is gonna be under our building ordinance, and we're also working on revising that as well. That's our chapter 9. We want to first meet with Clovis since they're the ones who enforce like our building codes and everything to see what they recommend change wise. And then we're gonna get a focus group together for that as well.
Do we need to make a formal recommendation that
Yes,
Yeah.
please. So if you have anything that you saw needed change or anything else, but then other that, if you want to make a formal recommendation to recommend it, I think we'll probably take it back to the focus group one more time to just make sure everything is good with them and then hopefully get it ready for city council.
entertain a motion for a formal recommendation?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion for a formal recommendation from Mr. Jennings and a second for Mr. Davis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any other business?
I did notice this week that Mr. Glenn McCoy passed away.
Well.
He was a
Former
long
planning and
time
zoning
member
member.
here, so probably would be good to recognize that.
Yeah. just gotta bring that up. Nice, he was a great person. Anything else?
We don't have anything.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
No moved.
We have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Cole, second by Ms. Baca. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.